Hello, folks. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the hottest topics on the planet, climate change and global warming. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hot, really? But trust me, this is a topic that affects every single one of us, and it's important that we understand it. So buckle up, and let's dive into the fascinating world of climate science. First things first. What exactly is climate change, and how is it different from weather? Well, weather refers to short-term conditions like temperature, humidity, and precipitation. Climate, on the other hand, refers to long-term patterns of weather over decades or even centuries. And when we talk about climate change, we're referring to the changes in these long-term patterns that we're seeing around the world. So, what's causing these changes? One of the biggest culprits is the increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases are like a blanket that trap heat from the sun, causing the planet to warm up over time. And where do these greenhouse gases come from? The biggest source is the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. But there are other human activities that contribute as well, like deforestation and agriculture. The impacts of climate change are complex and far-reaching. For example, we're seeing more frequent and intense heat waves, which can be deadly for vulnerable populations like the elderly and young children. We're seeing more severe droughts, which can lead to crop failures, water shortages, and even conflicts over resources. We're seeing more intense storms and floods, which can cause property damage, displacement, and loss of life. We're seeing sea levels rise as the polar ice caps melt, which could threaten low-lying areas and coastal cities around the world. These impacts have real consequences for people, animals, and the environment. For example, in many parts of the world, farmers are struggling to grow crops because of changes in the climate. And in some places, people are being forced to migrate because their homes are being flooded or destroyed by storms. But here's the thing, we're not helpless in the face of this challenge. There are plenty of things we can do to fight back against climate change. Here are just a few examples. We can reduce our use of fossil fuels by walking, biking, or taking public transit instead of driving, and by supporting policies that incentivize clean energy. We can make more efficient use of the resources we have, like water and land, and reduce waste. We can support policies that protect forests and other natural areas, which can help sequester carbon and preserve biodiversity. We can invest in new technologies that could help us capture and store carbon dioxide, or even remove it from the atmosphere altogether. And these are just a few examples. There are so many things we can do to fight back against climate change, it's just a matter of taking action. But here's the thing. Tackling climate change isn't just about avoiding catastrophe. It's also an incredible opportunity to create a better, more sustainable world. By transitioning to a low-carbon economy, we can create new jobs and industries, improve public health, and even build more resilient communities. So, there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the science of climate change and global warming. I hope I've convinced you that this is a topic that's worth paying attention to, and that we all have a role to play in addressing it. Whether it's making changes in our own lives, supporting policies that protect the environment, or advocating for more action.